Sir, your video and audio is breaking, sir.
Only break aydunda.
Yes, sir.
Sir. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Connection. Okay, Nana. So in the last class we have discussed about a graph. I mean, two graphs we have discussed. One is zero velocity, that is body is at rest, and second one is constant velocity, right? Constant velocity where you got the graph as a straight line passing through origin, and for zero velocity you got the graph as a straight line parallel to time axis, if I'm not wrong, right? Straight line parallel to time axis. Fine. Now let us discuss about another type of graph called as non-uniform or variable velocity. Third one is variable variable or non-uniform velocity. Variable or non-uniform velocity. Now if I plot a graph taking time in seconds along x-axis and velocity in meter per second along y-axis. Velocity is in meter per second, which is the SI unit of velocity, and the second is the SI unit of time. So I have taken time, which is independent variable along x-axis, and velocity depends upon time, which I have taken along y-axis. And if I take the points like this, like 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds as time along x-axis, and if I take 1 meter, okay, 1 I'll write and I'll put 1. It is understood. 1 means what? 1 meter per second, because already I've mentioned along y-axis as in meter per second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. 5, right? Now at a time, okay, of course, at 0 seconds, if velocity is 0, then I will get the point here, because coordinates of origin are 0, 0. If for time t is equal to 0 seconds, a velocity of that particle is also 0. And for time t is equal to 1 second, if the velocity of the particle is 1 meter, then 1 meter per second, then I'll get the point somewhere here. For time t is equal to 2 seconds, if I get the velocity of the particle as 3 meter per second, then I'll put here. That means for 2 seconds, what is the velocity? Corresponding velocity is 3 meter per second. Right? And for 3 seconds, if velocity is 4 meter per second, for 3 seconds, velocity is 4 meter per second. So somewhere I'll put the point here. And for 4 seconds, if I take the velocity of the particle as 4.5 meter per second, 4.5 is nothing but between 4 and 5, somewhere here. That is for 4 seconds. This is for 4 seconds. Now, if you look at the points, these points are not along a straight line. If I join all the points, it will look like this. It will look like this. goes like this. Now, how is the graph? Graph is a curve. Graph is a curve, right? So graph is not a straight line. That means why? Because here I have taken equal time intervals. 0 to 1 second, the time interval is 1 second. Between 1 and 2, the time interval is 1 second. Between 2 and 3, the time interval is 1 second. Between 3 and 4, again time interval is 1 second. But how about the velocities? How about the velocities? I'm sorry, I'm extremely sorry. This should be in meters, not meters per second. See, let me repeat again. So along y-axis, this is not a velocity. This should be displacement. This should be displacement. See, at 1 second, the displacement of the particle is 1 meter. And for a time t is equal 2 seconds, displacement of the particle is 3 meters. And at time t is equal to 3 seconds, displacement of the particle is 4 meters. And at time t is equal to 4 seconds, displacement of the particle is 4.5 meters per second. Let us say, this is just an example. Now here, if you look at the time intervals are same. The time intervals between 0 and 1 second, the time interval is 1 second. Between 1 and 2 seconds, time interval is 1 second again. Between 2 and 3 seconds, the time interval is 1 second again. Between 3 and 4 seconds, time interval is 1 second again. But if you look at the displacements, for 1 second, 1 meter is the displacement. For 2 seconds, displacement is 3 meters. Now, what is the displacement covered from 1 to 3? 1 to 3, it is 2 meters. But initially, what was the displacement covered? Only 1 meter. Now, here it is showing 2 meters. Now, at 3 seconds, I have taken the displacement as 4 meters. Right? At 3 seconds, displacement is 4 meters. Now, unequal displacements you can see for equal time intervals. So, this is the curve you got. This curve is nothing but unequal displacements for equal time intervals. This graph is said to be non-uniform velocity, or you can say variable velocity. That means for equal time intervals, I have shown you different displacements, or I can say unequal displacements along y-axis. That is the reason you got the curve. So I can say that a curve is, this curve is nothing but displacement time graph representing non-uniform velocity. This curve is displacement time graph displacement time graph representing non-uniform, or you can say variable velocity. Why velocity? Because displacement by time gives what? Displacement by time gives velocity. Okay, displacement by time gives velocity. So just, I mean, note it down, like, or anyways, I'll send the recorded once. So curve. Okay, this is a non-uniform or variable velocity. Now let me discuss one more graph. Now let me show you velocity time graphs. Here I have shown you till now displacement time graphs, 3 types. First one is zero velocity. First one is said to be zero velocity, that is displacement time graph. First graph is displacement time graph. Second graph is also displacement time graph, but there I have taken constant velocity. Slope remains constant. Here slope will differ. Slope will change at every point. slope will change at different points. Slope will be one value here, slope will be another value here, slope will be another value here, like this. Slope goes on changing. Slope goes on changing. Okay. Slope goes on changing. Right. Fine. Now, this is third is also displaced uniform or now let me show you velocity time graphs. Now we'll discuss velocity time graphs. Velocity time graphs. What does it mean? Going to plot the of x-axis and the velocity along. In the previous three cases, we have time along x-axis and the displacement of x-axis. Now I am going to show you time along x-axis, velocity along x-axis, so that the slope of the graph, what you will get, acceleration. In the previous case, for time graph, what is the slope, velocity? In all the three cases, you got velocity only. That is the first case has zero velocity, second constant velocity, third case has uniform or variable velocity. Whereas now I am going to discuss velocity time graphs. In velocity time graph, first one is said to be constant velocity. First one is constant velocity. Constant velocity is nothing but what? There is no change in velocity. Whenever there is velocity, also called as zero acceleration. It is also called as zero acceleration. Acceleration. Remember all the time. Acceleration. So, yeah, I hope this is clear now. I'm not sure. Let's see how it goes. Okay, Anna. So constant constant velocity, it is also called as zero acceleration, constant velocity or zero acceleration. The graph looks like this. If I plot a graph taking time along x-axis and velocity along y-axis, time along x-axis and velocity along y-axis, time in seconds along x-axis, velocity in meter per second along y-axis, and here I have mentioned the name itself as constant velocity. The name itself as constant velocity. For example, if I use a stopwatch or stop clock, right? The moment I started a stop clock, right? The velocity, particle has moved to certain distance and its velocity has come to 4 meter per second. 4 meter per second. Right? Velocity has come to 4 meter per second. And now I stopped the stopwatch. When the moment I stopped the stopwatch, the reading it was showing for the velocity of the particle as 4 meter per second, right? 4 meter per second, and the particle is okay. Now at 1 second, at time t is equal to 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Now I could able to see the velocity of the particle as 4 meter per second at 1 second. At 2 seconds again 4 meter per second. At 3 seconds again 4 meter per second. At 4 seconds again 4 meter per second. So what does this mean? So from this I can conclude that if time goes on increasing, then the velocity of that particle remains constant throughout. So velocity of the particle is showing as 4 meter per second all the time. If I join all the points, I will get a straight line parallel to time axis. Parallel to time axis. So I can say that the nature of graph is a straight line parallel to time axis represents constant velocity. Velocity remains constant. So nature of graph is straight line parallel to time axis, which is nothing but x-axis. Time axis represents what? Constant velocity, or I can say zero acceleration, because there is no change in velocity. Velocity at all the points is same throughout. So whenever there is no change in velocity, acceleration should be equal to 0. Because how to define acceleration? Acceleration is nothing but rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity. Whenever there is a change in velocity, then only acceleration exists. Otherwise, acceleration becomes 0. So in this case, velocity remains constant throughout. So I can say that acceleration is said to be 0. Now let me discuss about second graph, that is constant acceleration. Constant acceleration. Let me discuss constant acceleration. Second one is, first one is constant velocity, or I can say zero acceleration. Now second one is acceleration is constant. Second one is constant, or I can say constant positive acceleration. Constant positive acceleration. Constant, why? Because why I am writing, because there is another graph which I can draw for constant negative acceleration. I'll show you both. Constant positive acceleration. When can you say that acceleration is said to be positive? When can you say that acceleration is said to be positive? Let's say initial velocity of the particle is 2 meter per second. And if the velocity of the particle got increased in 5 seconds to velocity of the particle got increased to, like, let's say 10 meter per second, and the time interval, or during a time of 5 seconds, this velocity got changed. Now what I will get the value of acceleration? Let me take delta t as 5 seconds. Now, as you know the formula for acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but rate of change of the velocity of a particle, right? Rate of change of velocity of a particle. So what you will get? V minus u upon delta t, which comes out to be 10 minus 2 upon 5, 8 by 5 meter per second square. And 8 by 5, is it positive or negative? This is positive. 8 by 5 is positive. right? So in this case, I am going to show you the graph for constant positive acceleration. Let me show you constant positive acceleration, right? You will get a graph like this. So this acceleration is positive. Acceleration is positive because velocity, final velocity is greater than initial velocity, right? Constant positive acceleration. Now I'm going to show you the graph taking time along x-axis in seconds, velocity in meter per second. This I have taken along y-axis. And let's say, let me take the values like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also, let me take 1, 2, 3. Let me take another one. 4. Here, let me write velocity in meter per second. Velocity in meter per second. All the values on y-axis are measured in meter per second. All the values along x-axis are measured in seconds. All the values are measured in seconds. Okay, right. So at time t is equal to 1 second, if I observe the velocity as 1 meter per second, 1 meter per second, or at a time t is equal to 0, starting point at time t is equal to 0, particle hasn't started yet. Particle hasn't started yet. That means particle is at rest. When the particle is at rest, what is the value of velocity? Velocity should be 0 because it is at rest. So point will be here. Now, after a time of 1 second, let's say the particle's velocity is 1 meter per second. Particle has achieved a velocity of 1 meter per second in 1 second. So you'll get a point like this, right? And in 2 seconds or after 2 seconds, let's say the velocity of the particle attains 2 meter per second. అంటే 2 seconds కి నాకు ఎంత వచ్చిందన్న 2 meter per second వచ్చింది. For 2 seconds, 2 meter per second. For 2 seconds, 2 meter per second. And at time t is equal to 3 seconds, I could see the velocity of the particle as 3 meter per second. I could see the velocity of the particle as 3 meter per second. So somewhere here. Again, at 4 seconds, I could see the velocity of the particle as 4 meter per second. So somewhere here at 4 meter per second, at 4 seconds, velocity of the particle is 4 meter per second. Now, if I join all the points, I should get a straight line passing through origin. So if I join all the points, I will get a straight line passing through origin. So this should be a straight line passing through origin. Remember, for constant positive acceleration, you will get a graph, an inclined line making an angle, some angle theta with x-axis. Generally, we'll take angles with x-axis. Of course, we do take angles with y-axis as well, right? I'll show you that one also. But if I do not mention, by default, you have to take angle with respect to x-axis only. If I do not mention any angle, right, then you have to take the angle with respect to x-axis. Fine, Anna? So this is a straight line passing through origin, right? And the graph represents constant positive acceleration. Constant positive acceleration. This is a straight line passing through origin, inclined at some angle theta, let's say theta, with x-axis, or I can say time axis, right? And the graph represents constant acceleration. Why? Because now if you look at the values, for 1 second, the velocity of the particle is 1 meter per second. For 2 seconds, velocity of the particle is 2 meters per second. What is the change in velocity at this point? What is the change in velocity? 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0 is 1 meter per second. For how much duration? For 1 second. 1 meter per second for 1 second. Now similarly, now if I consider here 1 to 2, what is the change in velocity? Change in velocity is again 1 meter per second. For how much time? Duration is again for 1 second, right? And if I consider 2 to 3, if I consider 2 to 3, then 2 to 3, then if you look at the change, what is the change in velocity from 2 to 3? 1 meter per second. And what is the time interval that I have taken? For 1 second. So the change in velocities remain constant throughout the motion. Change in velocities remain constant. Whenever there is a change in velocity at different points are same, right? At different points, if I measure the change in velocity that is same, then I can say that the particle is moving with a constant acceleration. And between 3 and 4, what is the change in velocity? 3 meter per second, 4 meter per second. What is the difference? Change in velocity. 4 minus 3, that gives 1 meter per second. And during this change in velocity, what is the time interval? 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1 second, right? And the nature of graph is a straight line passing through origin. This is for constant positive acceleration. Now let me show you what is meant by, okay, I did not discuss this in the last class, but what is meant by negative acceleration? What is meant by negative acceleration? Negative acceleration. Negative acceleration in the sense, negative acceleration means what? Means, let's say initially particle is moving with 10 meter per second. Initially, that means when the velocity is 10 meter per second, there I have started the stop clock. That means at time t is equal to 0, the velocity of the particle I have taken as 10 meter per second, and it slows down its speed along a straight line. It slows down its speed along a straight line, and finally it reaches, it has come to rest. Particle has come to rest. Rest in the sense velocity has become 0. So final velocity I will take as 0, and during this decrease in the speed of the particle along a straight line, I can say, let me take the time interval as, let's say 5 seconds. Ante 5 seconds time interval lo a particle 10 meters per second nunchi 0 ki vachesindi. Now what is the value of acceleration if you find? Acceleration is nothing but final velocity minus initial velocity upon time interval. So final velocity minus initial velocity upon time interval. Now what is the value of v? V is equal to 0 minus initial velocity, with which velocity it is starting. When I have started the stop clock, at that time it is showing 10 meters per second. So 10 meters per second, let me write. By delta t, I will take as 5. Now let's say what we will get the value. I'm getting the value as minus 2 meter per second square. Minus 2 meter per second square, right? So this value, what I am getting is negative for acceleration. This negative acceleration is called as deceleration or retardation. What is that word that we use? We use a word for negative acceleration called deceleration or retardation. This negative acceleration of a particle, the negative acceleration of a particle is called deceleration. Is called, I can say, deceleration. D-E-C-E-L-D-R-A-T-I-O-N. Deceleration, or I can say retardation. deceleration or retardation. It means that the speed of the particle along a straight line is getting decreased. Speed decrease ainappudu, right? Whenever speed or velocity, if the velocity of the particle is getting decreased in a certain time, then I will get the value of acceleration as negative. Then this negative acceleration is called as retardation or deceleration. Retardation or deceleration. Retardation or fine. Now let me show you the graph for constant negative acceleration. Constant negative acceleration. Constant negative acceleration. I'll show you. I think fourth one, I guess. Fourth one or third one. First one, what we have taken? Constant velocity or zero acceleration. Second one is constant positive acceleration. Yeah, third one. Now we'll discuss about third one. Third one is constant negative acceleration, or I can say constant retardation. Constant retardation, or I can say constant deceleration. Constant deceleration. All are same. All have same meaning. Constant negative acceleration. Negative acceleration is nothing but deceleration, right? Or retardation. Both are same. Then a graph for this. If I plot a graph. No, let me just stop. Okay. I'm sorry, I got a call. So constant negative acceleration or constant retardation, or you can say constant deceleration, for this you will get a graph like this. If I plot a graph taking time along x-axis and velocity in meter per second along y-axis, and if I get the nature of graph like this, like let me put the points in this way, like same way, like as I have shown the previous one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here also 1, 2, 3, 4. Now at time t, okay, origin means what? Origin means coordinates are 0, 0, right? At a time t is equal to 0 seconds, what should be the initial velocity of the particle? It cannot be equal to 0 because I have started the stop clock at some initial velocity, at certain velocity, 4 meter per second. Let's say 4 meter per second. At 4 meter per second, I mean at time t is equal to 0 seconds, the velocity of the particle is initially 4 meter per second, and gradually it comes to rest. It comes to rest in the sense what? When it comes to rest, the velocity of the particle should become 0. Velocity of the particle should become 0. Let's say At time t is equal to 1 second, the velocity of the particle, let's say it is 3 meter per second. Velocity of the particle is 3 meter per second. Velocity of the particle is 3 meter per second. At a time t is equal to 2 seconds, let's say velocity of the particle is 2 meter per second. Velocity of the particle is 2 meter per second. Right? Now at a time t is equal to 3 seconds, the velocity of the particle is 1 meter per second. Velocity of the particle is 1 meter per second. And finally at a t is equal to 4 seconds, velocity of the particle is 0. On which axis y coordinate will be 0? On x-axis, y coordinate will be 0. That is, along time axis, velocity should be equal to 0. So at 4 seconds, velocity of the particle is 0. Right? At 4 seconds, velocity of the particle is 0. If I join all the points, you'll get a line like this. So these are all the points which are on the line. Let's say these are all the points. I have joined all the points which are on the line. Now, if you look at this graph, what it tells about is, as time increases, velocity is decreasing. And change in velocity is also uniform in this case. Change in velocity is also uniform. Now, if you want, you can calculate. What is the time interval here? Between 0 and 1, time interval is 1 second. During this time interval 1 second, what is the change in velocity? Final velocity is 3, initial velocity is 4. So 3 minus 4 you do. 3 minus 4, minus 1 you will get. Minus 1 divided by 1, you will get minus 1 meter per second square. Now if I take this time interval 1 and 2, what is the time interval in this case? Time interval between 1 and 2 is again 1 second. During this time interval 1 and 2, I have taken the change in velocity as 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3. Final is 2, initial is 3. Right? This also comes again 2 minus 1 meter per second. So this minus 1 meter per second by 1 second, which gives out to be minus 1 meter per second square. So acceleration is constant, but it is decreasing. Right? This is about third graph. Let me show you fourth graph. Fourth graph is non-uniform or variable acceleration. Let me check another one. Fourth one is non-uniform or variable acceleration. Just recall once what you have drawn for non-uniform velocity or variable velocity. How you got the graph? You got the graph as a curve, not a straight line. Not a straight line, right? In the similar fashion, if you plot a graph for non-uniform or variable acceleration, if I take a time in seconds along x-axis, velocity in meter per second along y-axis, and if I get a graph in such a way that it is a curve, it should be a curve. Now, curve can be of any shape. Let me show you 3 different curves. This is one curve. I'm just showing you. I'm not showing you the points. Time values and velocity values, right? So velocity values. Even if I show you, it looks like the curve represents that. What? This curve represents the non-uniform acceleration, or you can say variable acceleration. That means change in velocities will not be same. For equal time intervals. Or I may get like this. I may get a curve, this curve, or I may get like this. Depends. All depends. Or I may get the curve like this also. Oh, sorry. Let me show you. The curve like this. I may get the curve. Okay. Whenever you get a curve, whenever you get a curve, that curve, if I get for velocity time graph, as the curve is not a straight line, acceleration is not a constant, because if you measure the values of velocities, velocities will change. Change in velocities will not be same at equal time intervals. So such type of graph will come under non-uniform or variable acceleration. Okay, Nagana? So these are the graphs. Anyways, we have so many graphs to be discussed, but we'll go one by one as per the theoretical concepts. Theory available manaki mottamu, right? So let me show you what you call is, now let us come to kinematic equations. As all of you know, all of you are familiar with kinematics equations. I'm just writing the kinematic equations which are applicable only when a particle is moving under uniform acceleration. When a particle moves with uniform acceleration, when a particle moves with uniform acceleration, right? When a particle moves with uniform acceleration, let me show you kinematic equations for a particle moving with constant, or you can say uniform acceleration. Constant or uniform acceleration. This is to be underlined, very, very important. Kinematic equations for a particle moving with a constant or uniform acceleration. Constant or uniform acceleration. Let me write only the formulas, and if time permits, let me derive them as well, right? Not now, but let me show you the equations. What we use generally, the kinematic equations. If a particle moves under constant acceleration, or I can say uniform acceleration. First one is V is equal to U plus AT. You are very much familiar, right? We got this formula from A is equal to V minus U by T. If you just recall the formula for acceleration is nothing but what now? A is equal to V minus U by T. If you take this T to the left side, what you will get? AT is equal to V minus U. If you bring minus U to left side, what you will get? U plus AT is equal to V. Both are same. Right? That means I can say that V is equal to U plus AT. You got this formula from the formula of acceleration only. A is equal to V minus U by T. This is the formula. This is the very basic formula. First formula I can say when a particle moves with uniform acceleration. If the acceleration is not uniform, then these velocities, some change in velocities will be different. If the acceleration is not uniform, then the change in velocities will be different. Remember, here change in velocities will be same provided when the acceleration is constant, or I can say acceleration is uniform. Right? This is first equation of motion. Now second equation of motion, let me write second kinematic equation is S is equal to ut plus half at square. S is equal to ut plus half at square. For this equation, we have even a graphical method to get this formula that I will show you later on. There is a graphical method to show this equation S is equal to ut plus half at square. That also we'll discuss. Very important graph, right? Third one is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. V square minus u square is equal to 2as. Fourth one is, and here I'll tell you the notations. Anyways, as you have come across all these notations earlier as well, u is initial velocity, v is final velocity, s is displacement, you can say, or you can say distance of the particle moving along a straight line. Distance of a particle moving along a straight line. Whenever a particle moves along a straight line, distance is equal to what? Whenever a particle moves along a straight line, distance is equal to displacement, right? This S I can read in two ways. This I can read as displacement of the particle, or I can say distance of the particle moving along a straight line. T anyways time, or you can say time interval. V is final velocity. A is said to be uniform acceleration or constant acceleration. A is said to be uniform acceleration or constant acceleration. Fourth one is Sn, means distance covered by a particle in nth second along a straight line. I am talking these equations along a straight line only. Along a straight line. Okay, let me write here. Along a straight line. Why? Because here we are discussing 1D motion. 1D motion. One-dimensional motion is nothing but a particle can either move along x-axis or along y-axis or along z-axis. It can move only along one axis. That is, it has one dimension. So I am talking these equations when the particle is moving along a straight line. Now here, distance covered by a particle in nth second along a straight line, this is equal to, you have the formula, anyways we'll derive, if time permits, let me derive, u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. U plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. In this way you can write the other formula for distance covered by a body by a particle in nth second, or I can write like this. The other way is, let me show you. Let me erase this. Or okay, let me write here only. Is it visible? S nth is equal to u plus, when you take 2 inside, a by 2 inside, what do you get? A into n minus half. This is the other way of writing displacement of a particle in nth second, or I can say distance of a particle in nth second along a straight line would be u plus a into n minus half. Both are correct. మీ ఇష్టం ఏదైనా యూజ్ చేసుకో, దట్ ఈస్ యువర్ విష్. ఓకే ఓకే నౌ 4 equations are very important. Remember these 4 equations, and one more is also there. Let me write that one also. You have one formula to find out the distance covered by a particle along a straight line when you find out average velocity. Fifth one, let me take this first one as S is equal to average velocity into time. Average velocity into time. This average velocity, for example, if I give you two velocities, one initial velocity as u is initial velocity, v is final velocity, right? Then average velocity would become u plus v by 2. We'll derive this, don't worry. But for time being, remember these formulas, all the 5 formulas remember. This I can write as S is equal to u plus v by 2 into t. This is average value, average velocity when initial and final velocities are given, u plus v by 2 into t. Now let me write all the 5 at one place. Let me write all the 5 formulas at one place, and I'll put it in a box so that you remember, try to by heart this, and if time permits, let me derive the formulas as well. Right? First one is v is equal to u plus at. Second one is s is equal to ut plus half at square. Third one is v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Fourth one is ascent is equal to u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1, or you have ascent is equal to u plus a into n minus half, both are same. And last one, let me write distance traveled by a particle, S is equal to, when I give you average velocity, then the formula would be u plus v by 2 into very important. Very important formulas. Remember this. Okay, so these are the formulas. From these formulas, now we are going to discuss about a freely falling body. Freely falling body. What is meant by freely falling body? What is meant by freely falling body? For example, I have this marker, or I can say object. Now initially this marker is at rest now. This marker is at rest because I'm holding it. But the moment I release my fingers, what happens? It will fall down. The moment I release my fingers, it will fall down because of gravitational force. Because of gravitational force, the particle or marker, when it is coming down, its velocity goes on increasing. Right? Its velocity goes on increasing in such a way that the change in velocity is same throughout the time intervals. It has been found experimentally, the change in velocities during different time intervals are same. That means how the particle is moving? The particle is moving with uniform acceleration. That uniform acceleration under this free fall is called as acceleration due to gravity. What we call that acceleration as? That acceleration is called as acceleration due to gravity. And what is the symbol generally that we denote acceleration due to gravity? We'll denote acceleration due to gravity with a small g. Right? These are the formulas. Anyways, let me wind up the class for today. Right? But remember, G is nothing but acceleration due to gravity, and it was this value at a given place, it was shown that it is constant. That means changes in velocities will be same for different time intervals. As the changes in velocities are same, the acceleration of this marker when it is falling down, I'm not applying any force, I'm just releasing my fingers. When I unhold the pen or marker, when I release my fingers, or when the contact got released, then it will fall down with increasing velocity. Velocity goes on increasing till it reaches just before it touches the ground. Just before it touches the ground, its velocity goes on increasing. Right? Velocity goes on increasing, but change in velocity will be same at a different time intervals if you calculate. And it has been found experimentally by a famous scientist, Galileo. You might have heard by a scientist called Galileo. Galileo was a famous scientist, right? Somewhere in BC, I'm not sure. So he could able to find out the acceleration of free fall, right? And the value of G was found to be experimentally as, I mean, approximately I'm taking 9.8 meter per second square, just above the Earth's surface. Just above the Earth surface. 9.8 meter per second square is the value of acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity is nothing but acceleration of a freely falling body. Acceleration of a freely falling body due to Earth's gravitational pull, or I can say Earth's gravitational force. Acceleration of a freely falling body. Freely falling body in the sense, for a freely falling body, remember, for a freely falling body, as the marker is at rest initially, what is the velocity I need to take? 0. Velocity of this marker is 0. When I release, the moment I release the marker, it starts falling freely. So the moment, at this moment where I hold this marker, at this moment, the velocity, initial velocity is set to be 0. So for a freely falling body, remember always, initial velocity of the particle is equal to 0. Right? Let me wind up the class for today. Tomorrow we'll discuss. Okay, Nana. Thank you all. Whenever you time permits, you try to solve the assignment. Okay. Thank you all, Nana. Bye. Take care.